Cranex, welcome to this week's Friday Faux Pas. I did a confession day last week. I'm going to do the same again today. Usually people send me images and videos in and I comment on bad practice, but I think it's important for us to take responsibility for our own actions, so that's what I'm doing. Confession time. Last week I spoke about a formwork lifting clamp that I obliterated when I didn't listen to what the slinger was saying. This week I'm going to talk about floating. So floating out. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry about that. Someone just the AP was just calling me on the radio there. Right. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, floating out. So on a luffing crane, when you jib down.
Oh, Jim, I know you've got no speed screen, mate. I'm behind you, but you've got room to through, mate. I'm probably about 20 metres away from your arse end. You just can't do a 180.
Lovely. Cheers, mate. Nice one. Yeah, so
Cheers, mate.
The luffing jib, so it sticks up. So as it goes down, it increases the radius, but it also lowers the hook. Yeah, so you have to keep an eye on your height readings, all your readings there, so you've got your radius and your height there. Sometimes you want to keep the load level as you're jibbing down, because you don't want to lower down into things, yeah? So you have to hoist up at the same time, but you have to keep an eye on your height reading, just so that you know that you're at the right height and you're staying. That's why it's called floating, because it's going out level. Thing is, with the so when you're high up, when you minimum radius, the jib is high up, which means as you're going out it's going to lower slower than it is when you're further out, because when you're further out on the jib it's going to lower quicker. When you're up like that it's going to lower a lot slower, isn't it? But it's going to go out quicker on the radius. Some cranes have self-leveling buttons, so you can press a button and it will do all the floating out for you, but our cranes you have to do it yourself, so you have to look at the screen and you have to keep an eye on the height. Sometimes you have to tweak up a little bit, hoist up a bit quicker, or let go of the hoist just to keep it. You might just go like that a little bit. But when I was fairly green, I hadn't been operating cranes that long, I was lifting, so I was lifting a big steel bundle. It was about 2 ton, taking it out, and I was, what was I was 90 metres up there. I was in a 90 metre tower and 2 guys banking me, both supervisors, and they were on the ground. It was quite far down to look at, and the load was quite low to the ground because they were just moving things around on the ground, local lifts. They put this steel bundle on, and they wanted me to jib down, so they wanted me to go out further out on the radius, maybe, I don't know, 10 metres, let's say. It wasn't that far, but I wasn't keeping an eye on my height, and I was just sort of like, I don't know if I lost concentration or what, but I was just sort of guessing what gears to go in, but I didn't realise that the load was lowering and they weren't paying attention. To be fair, they should have been paying attention, they should have been watching, but they were chatting as I was walking to where the load needed to go. And all of a sudden I just saw them, they looked up and they ducked down and jumped out of the way. So the load was lowered so much that it almost crushed them, that it literally just gone just below head level, and then it smashed into a rebar cage that was on the floor that had been made up. I was landing this load the other side of this cage. So I smashed into this rebar cage, bounced around everywhere. So I don't know if I would have killed them, but it wouldn't have been good, let's say that. And they weren't happy, quite rightly. Like I say, they should have been watching, but like I said, everyone has to take responsibility. So when you do something, even if it's entirely not your fault, you have to take some sort of responsibility, as in, is there something I could have done to help this situation? In anything in life, this is. So that was that. Whether it's lack of concentration or possibly more inexperience, I don't know. So that's my confession. Nearly killed a couple of people. I did say sorry, and they are okay, and we did get they didn't want to kill me after that, but it did weigh me up a little bit, I can tell you. So that's my confession. What are your confessions? Let me know. Leave comments. whatever industry you're in, this is more for the construction industry. So what have you done that you, whether it's negligence, whether you know you could have done, that you should have done better, or you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing, or whether it's accidental or just bad practice. What have you done? Let me know. It's a bit of integrity. It's a bit cathartic as well, you know. It's a bit of a release, a bit therapeutic, a bit of a release of guilt, if you like. Unless you don't feel any guilt, but you should, because you should care. Yeah. All right. Laters.